baked chicken strips are really, really easy to do. And I mentioned kind of the chicken strips that you buy at the grocery store that are pre-packaged. Most of the time it's kind of like pressed, pre-formed meat. I'm not even sure, just kind of creeps me out. So I really love just cutting up my own chicken breast to make these, and it's very, very easy to do. So we'll get to the chicken in just a minute. First, though, we're going to make the breading, and the breading is just as easy as picking up some flavored croutons. These happen to be garlic and butter flavored croutons, which Anne has been munching on. She says they're fantastic, but any kind of like a nice flavored crouton is great. And put them in a Ziploc bag, or you can actually just crunch them up if they're in the bag that they come in. And I use a meat mallet. Rolling pin works great too. You know, this would be a fun thing to actually get the kids in the kitchen on a weekend and help make these. I find that if kids are involved in the cooking process, they will tend to try new, different things. If they are, you know, helped make it, they're so proud about it. I have pictures of my kiddos who are now getting bigger now in the kitchen when they were really, really little. And they each had a drawer, their own little drawer in the kitchen with little utensils. And in fact, they were just usually, you know, I didn't go out and buy all new utensils for them. They were just an extra spoon that I'd have, an extra spatula, but they, you know, they were their own. And, you know, putting an apron on them also is a fun way to get them into cooking. So these don't have to be super fine. This looks about perfect. Okay, you could also use your food processor if you wanted to, but this is way more fun. So we're going to take, this is just one package of croutons. We've got 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, dried parsley, and a teaspoon or so of garlic salt. And you just want to mix that together. So these are really going to have some nice flavor with the Parmesan, the croutons. The breading smells really great as is. All right, so mix that all up. And you notice we've got this in a shallow pie plate. When you're breading, it can be messy. You can get stuff all over the kitchen. So I've tried to kind of find a method to my madness and basically kind of get an assembly line going. So in my other shallow dish, and these just happen to be pie plates, which work great for kind of breading stations, I've got 2 eggs. That I'm going to beat together. And some water. This is about 1/2 cup of water, 1/4 cup of water, okay. So this is going to be the egg wash that we're going to dip our chicken breasts in first and then roll them in the breadcrumbs. Perfect. Okay. Now let's tackle the chicken. So I've got nice clean hands and boneless, skinless chicken breasts here. These happen to be really big ones. And by the way, if you're looking for today's recipe for my oven-baked crispy chicken strips, you can pick it up at any area Kopp's food store. They will now be carrying a lot of my recipes, so you can just pop into the store and stop at the service desk and ask for my recipes, and they'll have them right there. Of course, you can always get them on my website too. So it depends how big of the chicken, chicken strips you want your chicken strips to be, but I just kind of cut them up into strips or planks, but you can, that way each person can have maybe 3 of them, 3 or 4. And you can kind of trim, if there's anything that you don't want in there, you can kind of trim that away. But if you wanted them more like nuggets, you could, put them into smaller pieces. Like if you were doing more of an hors d'oeuvre thing and you wanted them smaller, it's up to you what size you want to make them. So you get the idea. We'll just cut those up a little bit. And then real important to line your pan with a some foil, and then we're going to spray it with cooking spray, or like an olive oil spray works great too. These are going to be a sticky mess, and that way we won't have to worry about cleanup or the chicken being released. Will release really easily from the pan. Oven temperature for this, you want your oven at 400, maybe even 425. Everyone's oven's different. You know your oven best, so definitely you want it at a high heat because we want this to be crispy, like you'd be deep frying them. All right, so we're going to start the process. Again, nice clean hands. Into the egg wash, which is just beaten egg and water. Into our breadcrumbs, and then onto our sheet. And you can add a few more crumbs if you want, just to kind of press them in here. And while I'm continuing to do this, got to make plenty in my house because these go quickly. I still wanted to remind you about our big night out. I just was told, my producer Abby told me there's still just a couple of spots left, and it's coming up quickly. It's actually Monday night, Monday, February 9th. So it's perfect for Valentine's Day week. Treat yourself, or come out with your special someone, or maybe come out with a family member, bring your mom, your sister, or come alone. It's a great way to meet people. We're going to the Appleton Beer Factory, which is a newer restaurant in Appleton, and they do amazing food. Of course, it's also, they brew their own beer too. So they've put together a 5-course meal paired with your choice of their beers, or if you're not a beer person, you can also choose to have wine instead. And the menu is, wow, over the top amazing. We're starting out with salmon as an appetizer, then a Greek chicken lemon soup as our next course. Our next course, crab cakes and a salad. Our main course is a pork osso buco, which is like a pork Italian kind of roast. They're going to be serving it with polenta, and then for dessert, amazing chocolate cupcakes, which I got to sample, and they were over the top incredibly good, that have actually a little bit of beer in them. So it's going to be a really fantastic night. $60 per person, and that includes everything. So please join us. Call today to reserve your spot. Like I say, this one is just about sold out, but if you call today, you might be able to still get in on this. Hope to see you there. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Notice how also when I'm putting these, got one or two more to do, when I'm putting these on the cookie sheet, I'm spacing them out. We don't want them to overcrowd the pan because I want them to really crisp up in the oven. By the way, all new shows this week and next. Tomorrow we're getting cheesy. I am making cheeseburger chowder, which is like a cheeseburger in a bowl. It's one of my favorite hearty kind of cold weather comfort soup recipes. We're also making cheesecakes and some other fun things. Next week, it's all about Valentine's Day. All new shows next week. Lots of fun ideas for Valentine's Day. Breakfast ideas, date night ideas. So please watch. This February we have gone on all out, and we have lots of really fun shows and ideas. Okay, so I'm just going to give my hands a wash here because this is kind of messy. And depending on the size of your chicken tenders, they bake up pretty quickly, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. You just want it to be nice and crisp on the outside and then cooked through on the inside. So come back with me. We'll throw these in the oven because we've got Girl Scouts here and I'm betting they're hungry. And here they are. They're yummy. And pretty much guilt-free. All we had was some Parmesan cheese and some breadcrumbs. We baked them. They taste fantastic. Of course, at our house, we love to serve them with ranch for dipping, ranch dressing. Also would be great with blue cheese. And then we serve these with lots at our house. Like oven-baked French fries is something that we often do. I'll serve with these. And then a big salad or just a big tray of lots of different veggies and dip. And it'll just be an all kind of finger food night. Great for a movie night in. And these are some of the best chicken strips. They really are great. And again, we'll put the recipe on our website. You can also pick this recipe up at any area Kopp's food store. Coming up next, more fun ideas to do with the kids. We're cooking with Girl Scouts. We're making 2 different cupcake recipes. We're also making a cookie dough dip. What kid wouldn't like that? So stick around. Recipes coming up next.